Hello, welcome to my short discourse on the four principles of bioethics. We all understand, I think by now, that they are autonomy, justice, beneficence, and non maleficence. And so, let's talk about autonomy. Autonomy requires that the patient have the autonomy of thought, intention, and action when making decisions regarding healthcare procedures. This implies, or it is assumed, that at this juncture, the patient has been advised by the health professional. And it is also assumed that the patient has received all details and has perfect understanding of the warps and woofs of the procedure, the status of the patient, the outcomes and limitations, successes of the recommended procedure. Well, uh, in the real world, we also would know that the health professional would not know all the details. Maybe the latest health advances, although they should, by training, attend such sessions to upgrade their skills. But it would be assumed that in any given conversation, not every detail, every facet of every situation can be covered. Neither, from the patient's point of view, can there be such a perfect understanding, uh, most primarily because of the technical jargon that may be used. And so, autonomy, though it speaks to one of the fundamental principles of ethics, that is, respect for the individual, one must apply some practical wisdom to understand that perfect informed consent is not quite possible. The second principle is justice. And justice is most, in the healthcare world, seen with reference to the distribution of healthcare. We are all aware of the disparities in the United States of America of both access and equality. Um, and I think we can agree that there can't be equal health care. Everyone is different, every situation is different, but there should be some equitable distribution of health care. One may be cognizant of references to good hospitals versus community hospitals, where the indigent are invited to refer for their health care, and where the affluent may afford the cost of the healthcare in good hospitals, where there's equipment and personnel, etc., etc. Um, we in healthcare, we as bioethicists, always need to engage in the dialogue, that continuous dialogue of how to repair such disparities and remedy them. The next principle is beneficence. And this has to do with doing all the good you can for the patient's convenience, for the patient's maintenance and improvement of health, for longevity, alleviation of suffering, and the patient's perception of when things are all right. These must be borne in mind. So doing good for the patient is beneficence, as well as being the best, providing the best care that you can. In other words, the health professional must engage in training that renders her or him the best professional available at the moment. That leads us into non-maleficence, which espouses do no harm. In other words, do no or as little as possible harm to the patient. And this, I think, we all agree. But if I were to prioritize any one principle above the others, I think they all work in tandem. It would be that of doing all the good, the beneficence, the going the extra mile, the self training, the intentionality of training and upgrading one's skills so that one may not just do good out of compassion, but render the best care that one can. Thank you so much. I look forward to hearing everyone else.